On the internet, it's written like a lot of, it's like 70-80% of Zoho's business back in the day vanished overnight. Like, what had happened at
Correct.
that time?
It was, see, basically all our customers were having a bloodlet. Yeah, because there was a consolidation happening in the world of telecom. The .com boom started shutting down. And so everybody who was giving us money, they were shutting shop. And so we had to do a pivot. And that's when, if you remember, Google bought a company called JotSpot. And this was the first writer on the web.
Okay.
And we were already 6 months ahead of them. We were building Zoho Writer, which was our first Zoho product. That was just an experiment. We shut shop on an initiative, and suddenly we had 60 people who were benched. And typically they would be laid off, fired and all that. We said, come up with a new experiment.
Yeah.
Let's try something interesting. So one of our managers said, there is this create on the web initiative that's been empowered thanks to HTML5. It's a new technology at that time. So we started experimenting. We went to, in fact, we actually learned Ranjit, Vijay. They learned using w3schools.org.
Yes.
We went there, learned it, did some experiments, published Zoho Writer as an internal tool.
That
and
was the
Google,
first from Zoho.
that
Zoho
was the
Writer.
first, yeah. And Google buys JotSpot. That was like light bulb moments because that's validation. Here is a company spending millions of dollars buying a writer on the web, and we have been building Zoho Writer.
Nice.
That's when we started going all guns blazing.
This is which year?
2004, 2005.
Interesting. And like, where does the inspiration to all these products come from? Like back in the day, 2004, 2005. Like, where did the idea come from?
Nothing new under the sun. Triple E, we would say, though it's a dated concept today, and probably not good to say you really have enemies in the game. Everybody is a friend. We are all working for our customers. But once upon a time, Microsoft had this philosophy, bloodthirsty philosophy.
Okay.
It said, if you see a competitor that's worth emulating, you first embrace, do everything that they do. Then you enhance, do better than that they are doing, and then you exterminate. That was the 3E, Triple E project, they said.
Okay.
That's how they killed Netscape and Internet Explorer.
Yeah, it was back in the day.
Back in the day, became a great tool. So we had something similar.
Yeah, I think during lunch, Hari was telling me that the idea of Zoho also, like CRM came from, like Sridhar was, I think he was looking at Salesforce prices and he was like, what are we paying?
It's all the
What is
price,
this?
yeah.
And then like, let's build it internally.
Correct.
And that's how the Zoho CRM came.
The licensing price, MS Office licensing.
This is all 2004-05.
2004-05, and that hasn't changed. Even today, a new product is typically birthed when we see an internal need for it. It's an itch that won't go away. So you start scratching it and you start building a little prototype, and then that looked good. And then you realize we can't be the only beneficiaries for it. Let's send it out into the open. So Backstage was one such product. Zoho Backstage was a product we needed, wasn't out there, an event management tool.
Okay.
And now Zoho Backstage is the tool that powers all our Zoholics events, our meetups, physical, hybrid, completely online with a Zoom plugin and all that. And customers started coming in. So
yeah. And the philosophy of hierarchy that you were mentioning, I think I've heard this 5 times now in the last 40 hours also, that there's no hierarchy. Where does that come from? Like I live in Bombay and I run a company of 50 people and I am surrounded by Gen Zs, and all they care about apart from money is status. Like they would want to be in this position, and Kirti is there smiling at me right now, who's head of business operations at Finet.
See, Sridhar comes from Princeton. And before that, he was at IIT Madras. After that, he was at Qualcomm in the center of Silicon Valley. At a time when Silicon Valley had all that aura. And one quote that probably he heard somewhere that stuck with him, that he continues using whenever the question of hierarchy and management comes up is you don't need smart people to manage other smart people.
Okay.
And in fact, smart people hate being managed.
That's true.
And so the flat hierarchy is the only hierarchy that will last the test of time. Right? Don't tell me what needs to be done. Give me the agency, give me the experimentation bandwidth, allow me to do small experiments, fail fast, weekends, small budget, small team, and let me surprise you with things you never knew were possible. That has been Sridhar's philosophy. Even now, Sridhar, Mani, Rajesh and others, they don't really know everything that's happening across the company. And that is a conscious decision. This is controlled chaos.
Okay.
We don't really know what's happening in every corner. We don't want to know. We want to ensure there are enough semi-dark corners in the company so that experimentation, true innovation happens only there. The garage, so-called garage. We want to capture that spirit. So I'm sure you do that with your team.
Yeah.
All of us have
it trickles
that.
down.
It trickles down.
So what he sets on the top, it trickles down to how I manage my team also, because my managers have been like that with me. So when I joined, I joined with not really a marketing background.
Correct.
I came from US with MSW and all that, and some of my friends advised me that we see you as a good marketer, so why don't you? Our company is just starting a marketing division, so we feel that you will have a good shot at this. And that's how I came in. And the kind of course, at that time when they interviewed me, Shankar was my manager, and he said, "What are you doing here and what is this interview for? What is this MS optics and what are you here for? Is it just for 2 months and then you'll go somewhere and do some scientist job, or what is this?" I said, "No, I am very serious about a career leap. I'm back and I want to give this a good shot, and I will guarantee you at least I will give my best for a year, and I want to see if my friends prove me right that I can be a good marketer." And that is how I got this opportunity here. What is SEO? What is Google Analytics? SERP rankings? All of that I learned it here. It's not really rocket science. You can learn all of those ropes, and I was given the freedom to fail. The point that he made about failing fast, right? So you do a landing page, or you write this blog.
So it's execution focused.
And we will see. You do something, you put it out there. If it fails, we learn from it.
There's one more little trick. I learned it only recently that our senior managers have adopted. We never had enough people.
Okay.
There were always more things to do than we had people for. Continues today. I'm sure if allowed, you would want to recruit another 20 people.
Absolutely.
Same here.
You would not want to.
So it became a nice organic rule of sorts. And so automatically there has to be prioritization.
Okay.
A top down or a bottom up prioritization of sorts. We have to weigh between a very good and a truly great. Weighing between a bad and a good is easy. But we had to weigh between a very good, just very good, and a truly great thing. And that's when those weekend experiments helped, continue to help.
No, I agree with
right
that.
back when I joined, marketing was not even a thing. So the roles that we were assigned were called product presentation team. So we were a bunch of 5 or 6 people who were entrusted with the job of documenting what we are doing. So there was
And I hated it because it had the acronym PPT.
PPT, yes. So we were so, trying to get that off our roles. We were trying to figure out what to do. And website, everything was a part of the product presentation. Getting a website ready, getting the documentation ready, migration guides. So marketing became marketing. We understood marketing much later, like 3-4 years from then, from 2004.
Yeah.
Around that time. So
which is quite unlike how teams get formed these days, both in startups as well as in large companies. The marketing role was felt as a need,
absolutely.
before it was created from bits and pieces here and there.
So with community too.
Yes, I remember the PPT. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
No, I agree
PPT
with what you are
stands
saying.
for
Yes.
Product
Product
presentation.
presentation.
Oh,
That was the only thing they were called for.
Yeah.
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 Got it. But like coming back to the hierarchy question only, like how do you like then track people? Like my question is like two things in fact here. Like you've been here since 25 years, you mentioned, and you mentioned there's no ego, there's no hierarchy. But don't you feel like, oh, I'm the seventh employee, how can like this person be here? Like, you know, that natural human instinct which comes in, which can come for you also. Like you've been also here for a long time and you've been here for 16 years. How do you inculcate that in the culture? Like, do you constantly communicate that in verbals, or is it an energy? How does that happen?
I'm guessing each of us have a different answer to this.
Yeah.
Shall I go first?
Yes,
Okay. Any attempt at inculcating culture is doomed to fail. You can't write a red book and blue book and say,
Yeah.
this is the culture document on induction day. Watch these and come prepared. That's not going to work.
Fair enough.
What can work though, two things in my view. Number one, you got to live that culture. You cannot just say it, talk it. You have to walk the talk.
Practice what it is.
So from your in time, out time, to your messaging, to your respect or love or involvement and engagement with your bosses and your peers, you have to be the living example, the epitome of what you want them to mimic, take from, and so on. That's the primary thing.
Okay.
The second, which is probably more important, Sridhar and Mani often say, the most important or probably the only role of a manager today is to spend a lot of time attracting the right kind of people. So when you need another person in your team, it can't be just skills and swagger and ability and impressive resume, portfolio, and so on. You need to cut past that and find out whether there is fitment in the long term. You're not capable, nobody is capable of doing that sitting across a table, 2-hour interview, 3-hour interview.
Sure.
Which is why we take much longer. We do a lot of research in the background. We look for what questions they have to us. Right? So the second thing, very, very important, attracting the right kind of people, and as a corollary, keeping the wrong people out.
How do you do that? Like, what are the actionable steps?
Here is one. Our office will never be in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore. We will never have an office there. A swanky, steel and glass, high-tech IT park where there's a mall on the left and 2 kilometers from here there's a beach, and people who live for 5 days earning so that you can spend 2 days spending. We don't want such people. So take a look. I don't know whether you looked around this campus.
Yeah.
There is nothing here. There was nothing here. 15 years later, there are a few things here. But the typical urbanite Gen Z, I respect all of you children, but I had to say this, unless they are really burning with a sense of passion and powered by a long-term vision, would not want to be in Zoho. And we are happy that they are happy. So you keep them out. This is self-selection. In fact, I remember Sridhar and I, we were working on a document. We didn't publish it because COVID came along. But Sridhar said, we should put out a document listing 10 reasons why you shouldn't join Zoho. Okay, are you looking for on-site opportunity abroad? Sorry. Are you looking at having a swanky name or a title, Chief X Officer or a Senior Y Manager and so on? Yeah? So we wrote that document, 10 reasons why you shouldn't. We should do anti-marketing because sites like Glassdoor and Blind and so on started saying, Zoho, the moment you're made a full-time employee, they give you iPhone. We didn't give iPhones for the status. We gave them an iPhone because that made them always on, easily contactable. Our customers were using iPhones. And so we couldn't just build for the large screen and not understand what interface they were consuming Zoho through. Only after we gave those iPhones, the mobile revolution happened, and every product that we had didn't have mobile app as an afterthought, but we started thinking mobile first.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is how you probably do it. You.
Yeah, so in all of those points that he mentioned, and one other thing that I would add is somehow Zoho has this tendency of slowly, gradually removing your ego itself in terms of
Yeah.
wanting to
That's a
be
good one.
somebody,
Yeah.
or I need to go there, because the posts that Sridhar makes about world economy, about always saving for a rainy day, there are some posts that he always keeps posting.
Internal.
Yeah, internal.
Here
So-
it comes, we say. Here it comes.
Yeah. Oh, another the rainy day post. So, but then that keeps you grounded. Like you read that, and
Give an
suddenly
example.
you are up here and you are brought to the ground again.
Mm.
Okay, so this is Sridhar posting about the world economy, and he has this knack of breaking down this whole world economy situation in very simple terms.
Okay.
He's actually Chief Economics Officer.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Yes.
And
Not
you will-
just the Chief Scientist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you will find that more often than not, anyone is approachable here. See, when you talk about managers, seniors, like he mentioned, sitting in a room, knock on the door, and then go inside, none of that is there. So when everyone is rather approachable, and when it doesn't really make a difference whether you're a senior or whether you somebody joined just now, everyone talks almost in the same way and is approachable in the same flat line.
Yeah.
So all that over time gradually takes off that whole status, I want this and all that, and you actually start enjoying the peace of mind that you get in working in an environment like this. And that's again, it takes time. It does take time for maybe even the Gen Zs when they join Zoho. There are some Gen Zs in our team also. A couple
Every
of people.
Zoho Schools graduate by default is a Gen Z.
Gen Z,
Yeah.
yes.
FYI.
Yeah. And they do bring in some restlessness when they come in. Like, would this take this much time? Why aren't we doing this? And then you have people like me who have been
Hari,
here for 16 years.
restlessness is good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Impatience is bad.
Yeah.
I'm happy they are restless.
Yeah, the
They
podcast
want
is called
action.
Restless.
Oh, okay, yes. They want action. I am happy they are lighting a fire under your backside.
Yeah.
What is probably not good is impatience and lack of sustained stamina.
Yeah.
You have to burn through it before you see light at the end of the tunnel. That thing.
Yeah. So they bring in the aspect of speed in for us. Like, so we have been conditioned to take time. Now here come these young people who are restless. And like he said, sometimes that restlessness becomes impatience. But there you add the value of, wait, let's look at this. This is going to take this much time. We will do it, but be patient.
Yeah.
So there is a good balance of people who have been here through the long game and people who are coming out of Zoho schools. And that combination in a team itself develops a culture of the flatness, and status is not really a big deal. Anyone can share an idea. Anyone can do anything. That freedom to fail, that I think is a very important thing today, the freedom to fail. We talk about success and all that, but the freedom to fail is something not very easy to get. And all these together, I think, keep you grounded. And that develops over time and you start liking it. And then you stick.
Good. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, so I think right in the beginning when I joined, I felt this fountainhead moment, so where you really want to treat people like how you want to be treated. That comes from the top down. So for example, Kumar, Rembu or Sridhar, when they used to walk past one of the cubicles where somebody has had a loss in the family, they'll take that time, come to you and say, hey, what are you doing in the office? Why don't you take a break? Is there anything else we can do for you? So that would come unasked, unexpected, So that kind of empathy, putting people first culture, I think is very unique to Zoho. That no wonder how much you try to resist, you can't. You just soak that culture up, and you want to treat the people in your team the same way. And this is something that has kept us all grounded. And like he said, one thing I'd like to add there is, we are, even after this many years, we are also restless. That is why a lot of things get done. It's not a very Gen Z thing, but yes, but we understand where we have to be very realistic in terms of our expectations. What will work, why something will take time, why something cannot be delivered just in a day or two. And you have to give it that time. You have to be persistent, you have to be consistent, and you have to be okay to let go if something is not going to see the light of the day. There are so many projects that we started and we abandoned because something would have changed in the market, something would have changed in the engineering landscape, something would have changed in the software world. We'd have to abandon something midway. A lot of effort would have gone into it. But people will they'll hit pause, reset, start again with the same enthusiasm.
50 to 400, I would say. If you see 50 products outside, 400 in the burial ground.
Burial ground, yes, absolutely. So all of us have been through those cycles, rinse, repeat, rebuild kind of cycles. There are products that were built first, then broken down into smaller products, then put back again as bigger product. Then we'll see this strategy is not working. But everybody, so the core premise would be, let us agree to disagree. If I am not happy with a particular decision, I would still raise my disagreement. I would say, I am not fully in, but if this is what we all have to try, let us try it. Let us give it the time. That is something all of us have imbibed. It was not taught. I think it happens when you come inside Zoho. There's something about the air or the food we eat. I think we just ingest that and we radiate. And we don't, to the people who join us later, we don't go about having a board, a meeting room, a drawing room where you go and tell, this is how you have to be, put people first, pay it forward, what you got paid for. We don't say. It automatically comes. I think it just translates as a culture and it grows, and that has helped us thrive. And I think that is what is going to keep us.
Watertight, airtight cultures will die.
Will die, absolutely.
You need a constant cross-pollination, a careful, measured injection of the new world. We are a very different company than how we started. Thankfully, little things like stopping at the corridor and asking how things are continues even after we have become 18,000. From 18 to 18,000. But we are very different. Some of the things we do are unimaginable.
Tell us before and after.
So one little thing I wanted to share, I read recently. There's this scientist by name Conway from IBM. He's a chief scientist way back in the 70s. He came up with Conway's law. And Conway's law states that the product, in our case, software, the software that a company produces very soon starts to reflect the hierarchical culture of the company itself. Okay. And when I look at products like Zoho One, Zoho Connect, we have a by default on anonymous posting in our intranet. Anybody can ask anybody anything with a mask on them. Some of our customers, the first question they write back to customer support is, how do I turn this damn thing off? Because they cannot tolerate such a culture. Here, we empower our employees to go anonymous and ask anything. And still it is a pretty bearable environment. So it starts reflecting. If Mani Bembu is one mention away in our intranet, and he is going to respond to you with no glass walls separating us, it starts reflecting in the way we write code. Every one of our products' source code is open source to every other company, every other team member. I remember this vividly. There was this time when one of our colleagues kept complaining about some feature that was missing in this other product. First, nobody responded. Second time, somebody acknowledged. One more month later, the same complaint came up from that person. Sridhar pulled him up and said, it's open source. Spend a couple of weeks, build that feature. I will ensure it is added in. The interesting thing is, he did that. He took it up and now he joined that team. So this is another little tidbit that we have here in this company where, in fact, managers are the poor, the unhappy lot. Because you can ask for a team change if you're not happy with the team. Put a hand up and you can switch teams. Why? We want to ensure that at the end of the day, people, that ikigai is captured.
Yeah.
People come to work because they like. You spend more time with your manager than with your husband or your wife. Aren't you married? No, not yet. Okay, we do that. So you better have a good environment. So we allow employees to switch teams. He has many team members who have switched.
Yeah.
You have team members who have switched.
Yes.
Both in and out. And it's good for everybody that we allow that. So that's Conway's law.
I think that is where we caught on to this line of don't bring just the problem, bring the solution also.
Bring the solution, yes.
That is how things work here. You just
Expand to that point.
You can't just bring a problem. Bring a problem, you bring the solution. Tell us how to fix this.
Don't just complain about what's not
This is
working.
not happening, that is not happening.
Yes.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
What do you want us to do about it?
So
I agree.
by solving, it doesn't have to be just me trying to solve. I can take Hari's help, I can take anybody's help. I have to go with a solution.
Literally today my team member was telling me we don't have this contract, it will take 10 days to get signed. And I just sent them an audio note, find a solution. Why are you telling me a problem? Why do you want to babysit everything? So they got a solution and they came back 30 minutes later. I was like, just do it on your own then. So I think that's what we're talking about.
But 30 years of growing organically and not acquiring any third-party company or buying our solutions. We built every one of them. And so they speak the same language. They follow the same back-end infrastructure. So anybody who is well versed in the innards of one product can spend some time, understand the other product, and hence it's like a large country speaking the same language.
So you mentioned this word sustained stamina.
Yes.
Around 5 minutes ago. I want to touch onto that as well. Because a lot of people, doesn't matter, millennials, Gen Z, whatever, they first start off to make money, and then once they make money, their sustained stamina goes away because they're like, now what are we doing? Which I feel like a lot of Zoho energy is purpose driven. So I wanted to talk about that. Like, how can people develop sustained energy? Should they find what they want to do first? What do you think about that?
There is enough that's been written about it. The sustained stamina is my concoction, but typically it is called intrinsic motivation. Start with why Simon Sinek and so on.
Yes.
So take the example of Zoho Schools. The most favored entry point these days into Zoho Schools is not the entrance test. That's there. You can come, appear on a day, 2 hours test, 1 hour interview, pass, fail, go home, take the offer letter. But we have a procedure called the examless evaluation.
Okay.
So you might have heard of Inktober. In the month of October, some famous artist in Europe came up with an idea and said, I will give 1 prompt a day on my Instagram, 31 prompts. Each day from wherever you are in the world, draw something, create something, sculpt something, 3D print something, paint something, but to that theme. So today's theme would be fish, tomorrow would be glass, the next day would be water, another day would be plane, whatever. 31 words. And we tried that at Zoho School, the School of Design. It was fun. It was a lot of positive energy. And somebody came up with the idea, why not we use this as an entrance test? Sustained stamina. So we said next year, School of Design, our entrance opens in the month of October on day 1. We will give you 31 clues. You come up with artwork for those 31. Many of them drew the first. Most of them continued till the 15th. But only the few who had sustained stamina continued, and they even came up with some innovations. They would combine the first and the 14th in the 17th. And so when they finished 31 days, we brought them over and we said, we would like to interview. We would like to know how you drew this, which angle, what reference you took, and so on. So it was such a hit, Inktober it's called, because it's ink drawing. Inktober. We started Pentober for writing. We started Hacktober for programming.
Coding.
We started Mathtober for math problems. So all 4 put together, we call it Zestober. In the month of October, very busy. We run an internal initiative among the faculty. They come up with ideas. Thousands of students from around the country, they sign up to the free portal and participate. And what we look for is, do you have it in you to continue even when you suck at it? Because you have to go through the valley of suck before you move to the mountains of success. Right? So that's the challenge all of us have. Most of us would have tried our hand at tennis or violin. There must be that violin collecting dust also sometimes. Why? Like everybody else, we sucked at it. But we didn't have the guts to keep going at it while we still sucked. Why? Probably we were afraid somebody would say something. We don't want such people. Probably we did it because our teacher asked us to do, or there were marks hanging on the balance, or we had to finish it for some particular, our school annual day. We memorized, we practiced singing, dancing. All those are extrinsic motivations.
Correct.
There is nothing inside you pushing you to do that. We don't want such people at Zoho Schools. So this intrinsic motivation, sustained stamina has been a big hit. We call that examless evaluation. And students who are not top performers, if you look at marks, Sridhar often says that. He says there is no correlation at all between college performance and how a person does in life. So we want to capture that essence in our evaluation. Our HR doesn't recruit based on toppers in college. Most toppers don't choose Zoho. We don't choose most toppers. Right? It's a
thing.
Win-win.
Yeah, so many marriages that would have ended in divorce, thankfully it didn't happen. That's the way I would put it. Tell us your joining story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah.
She's a postgraduate in English.
Yeah.
Ah.
So I don't come
heard
from
this message.
so I don't come from a technical background, and I clearly remember my HR interview.
Yeah.
So the HR manager, after all the rounds, after I cleared the technical rounds, he's like, "Why do you think I should hire a non-technical person like you?" I was not Zoho then. There was a lot of abrasiveness in me still. So I said, I think you should have considered that before calling me. And I thought I'd lost the job, I thought I'd messed up with the opportunity, and my husband had joined before me. I didn't tell him I was taking a test here.
Zoho.
Yeah, Zoho.
Okay.
So, but then by the time I reached home, my father-in-law told me that he gave me a chocolate and said, "You got a job in AdventNet." That was the kind of culture even back then, So I didn't know it was a stress test by HR, but so after I came in here, every single person in the team, I was surrounded by all nerds, So somebody asked me my mentor said, "Can you open the Explorer?" I was like, should I open Windows Explorer or Internet Explorer? I didn't know if it was the right question to ask. I was very conscious, but I asked anyway, but nobody batted an eyelid. They were cool, casual about it. I said, no, Windows Explorer. So we had this big Windows box with an anti-glare glass and all that. So talking about it feels like a dinosaur slightly, but that was it. So every day I used to ask the same set of questions multiple times to my mentors. Like I had Deepa, who still is my tech mentor, Ramesh, Muthu, so many people who I look up to even now as mentors, and not one day in my early journey, the first 2 years were very formative for me, where I transitioned from an absolutely non-technical person to learning Telnet, MS SQL, learning about data migration, setting up replications, talking about failover, failback, load balancing. All this was news, but but the energy levels, I found myself to be more energetic than the previous decade, So that was the kind of atmosphere then. It still is.
Gives you space to learn.
Absolutely. And you can make mistakes. So again, like Sridhar very famously says, don't make the same mistake twice, make new mistakes. So again, I think that is something we all have internalized. These things are not taught, but we internalize these learnings and it becomes a part of us. We become that.
Has there been any occasion of like conflict between two team members and you're in a dilemma, how do I solve it? Or that doesn't happen?
Absolutely, that always happens.
Always happens.
It is going to happen
No,
always.
but again,
in
there's a
team.
very mature way of handling,
Yeah.
So if I have somebody who is wanting to try an opportunity, then maybe Hari and I will talk. We'll say, hey, is there something in your team?
Yeah.
This person wants to try. And we do this kind of incubation. Maybe you want to go there, try for a couple of months. If it doesn't work out, maybe you can always hop back. That kind of arrangements where we are flexible, because we cannot rule out or tell a person cannot scale, without doing our bit. You have to go all out, see what you can do to enable and empower this person if it is in your capacity to do it. Not doing enough is not right.
So I have created a state of the team spirit survey. So it's called State of Team Spirit, and I usually run it once in 6 months. It has controversial questions like
League One.
is there any point of time you felt like hating me? Questions like this. And if so, what were those reasons? About myself. And you can be open about it. And I'll also ask questions about who were the people in the team who helped you over this time, who are the ones who you are annoyed with or not able to talk for some reason, and all these things. So if you want, you can mention your name. If you don't want, if you mention your name, it's a small team, and you believe me, you know that I'm open. So let's have this. Let me listen to this. I won't immediately go with that survey and say you have typed. Not like that. I'll let that sink. It will go. I'll read all those answers, and then over time, gradually, I'll start off that conversation, not by saying you typed this, just analyzing or observing the problem from there. Okay, these two people have said this about each other. So let me go talk to this person, talk to that person, and see how they can bridge that gap, or how can I create something so that that gap is bridged between them. Put them in a place where they need to collaborate, also be there. And it's easier to do in a smaller team. Yeah, when it's a larger team, I think you have to put that onto the leads in your team. So then you ask the leads, when they have their own bigger teams, that you can create a state of your team spirit survey and do the same thing.
I think that was a warm-up. We did a lot of team culture. Now we'll go to more technicalities about the product and all of that. But before that, if you could just quickly, like Hari, we'll start from you. Like, what is it that exactly you do right now on a day-to-day basis at Zoho?
On a day-to-day basis.
Like your role, basically.
Okay, so I head the marketing for Zoho One, which is a suite of 50 plus products from Zoho. This whole 50 plus, 45 plus, even I get confused sometimes, because some of the products, like say the finance products, are still not completely compliant for certain regions. So that 50 plus. So let's keep it 50 plus. So all of these products we talk about have been built over the last 27 years. And we did not set out to build Zoho One. So Zoho One is a culmination of all these applications that have been built to be deep in their specific domains. And now Zoho One is a stitching together of sorts. It's not that these products have not been integrated at all. They are integrated. But now that we are giving it as one unified software suite, that weight of we need to make something really unified. All of these software should talk to each other is even of higher gravity in Zoho One. So my task is to spread the message about Zoho having Zoho One, and that it serves as an operating system for business, where a business can run all of its functions from sales, marketing, accounting, everything in Zoho One. Does it have all the tools out of the box for a business? It doesn't, because businesses are like that. Every business is going to have certain points where you don't have a software for this. Now for that, in Zoho One, we have something called Zoho Creator. Zoho Creator is an application to create your own custom applications. So even if there are these gaps that the business wants, like I don't have this tool in Zoho One, you have this tool to create your own custom application. Now how do I integrate this new custom application with your Zoho application? We have an application for that called Zoho Flow. So you have almost the entire toolkit in Zoho One in terms of the 50 plus applications that work out of the box for certain businesses. You have a custom application creator called Zoho Creator, which is just one of the developer tools that is available. There are other developer tools also like Zoho Catalyst and a bunch of other things with which you can custom develop your application, and you have an integration application. So you pretty much have everything to build and set up your workflow based on your business's context.
So you do marketing for all these products?
I do marketing for Zoho One. So my aim is to send out this message that there is Zoho One for you. If you are a business that is just starting up or you are small, I think it is actually a no-brainer for you to get Zoho One because you already have the entire toolkit. As your business scales, you don't have to go looking for a new tool for the next thing that you want to set up. You already have it at your disposal. You enable it and start scaling. As your business scales, you enable new apps, and that's how you grow and accelerate growth for your business.
Good.
So he missed mentioning a more important role probably that he's doing, that he does every day, which is being an internal champion for Zoho One. Because there were these 55 horses, untamed, wild horses, released into the landscape at various times. 2004 for Zoho Writer, and to rally all these together, convey the same thing that you're telling the outside world, that this is the no-brainer decision. Hey, please come. There is the chariot that I am building. Please come, give your reins. That's a harder task, I would say. Because here, there is conflicting demands. They want to launch a product, they want to kill the competition, they want to outdo, they want to undercut or whatever, and they want to also pay obeisance to the big suite that you are creating. That is something that his team does, and which is probably strategically more important for us every day.
Actually, what I realize in this role of marketing Zoho One, the main core word about Zoho One itself is unification. It's not even integration. It goes beyond integration to unification. So that is the key word for Zoho One. It's a unified software suite, not just an integrated suite.
Yeah.
For example, you could consider a business team like a sports team, right? Take a cricket team. So there is this popular thing that, this company is like my family. It is in a way like your family. But it's in your family. If your son does something bad, you're going to scold him, but he'll still remain. But in a company, if someone is not at all accountable or working, you might end up having to send them away. So there is a difference. In that sense, if you think about a business team, it's like a sports team, like a cricket team. You have a batsman, you have bowlers, you have fielders, all-rounders.
Yeah.
Now, you don't call a team that is successful an integrated cricket team, right? You say it is a united team. So that same united concept is what we want to build as in terms of an application suite also. It is a unified suite where somebody using all of these applications feels that it already belongs to a whole. It shouldn't feel like it is being forcefully connected, which is what happens when you choose software from multiple vendors. Like you start off with one vendor for sales, another vendor for marketing at a later time. I want to do marketing automation, so let me choose a best of breed that is out there. And then you do that, but they follow a completely different design philosophy, different technology stack. Now you want the data from your marketing automation to sync with the sales application that you initially set up. Now you have to pay for a system integrator as additional to make them talk. So on one side, the total cost of owning this software tool is going up, and also it is adding to your complexity of making them talk to each other. So this is what we want to solve, because we have been building these applications on the same Zoho technology stack over these years, which are already integrated contextually because we are building them. Now, if we package them into a Zoho One suite, you get a unified operating system for your business, where it removes a lot of this complexity of administration, saves on the total cost of ownership, and fosters better collaboration for the people in your company because they are using connected apps. When you use connected tools, your teams are also going to feel more connected.
In fact, what he has achieved with Zoho One, truly commendable, because it goes back to Conway's law and various cultures. He has achieved, along with his team, nearly the impossible, because the outside world sees this as one team that has come out with one product called Zoho One, and so the culture is probably united. It's not. Look under the blanket and a lot of mess going on, because that's how the company itself is structured. But what we have been able to achieve is rally them all together at the important levels. If you look at design, for example, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, each product had its own design theme.
Yes.
Okay, the style, the buttons. Some would say sign in, some would say login. It's as simple as that, but it is a cognitive overload. But today we have a design language across Zoho. We have our own font. Our typeface has been launched. Puvi, we call it. So all these coming together has been because there is this one grandma that we want to align ourselves to. Someday we want to boldly go out there and say, oh, Zoho. No, it's not a suite of 55 products. It is one product with 55 features. And it's available for every one of your customers, every one of your employees, all the way from CEO down to the front office assistant. Because most front office assistants these days are creator programmers on the sly. Zoho Creator is a drag and drop prompt driven app creating interface. They create apps during their free time. Empower them with Creator. Yeah. So that's the magic that we have tried here.
Got it. Vidya, what is it that you do here?
Yeah, I had Zoho Community. What we do is create avenues for customers to stay engaged with our brand and optimally use the products and the product capabilities for their business to make proper paisa vasool from their investments with Zoho. So we align a lot of online and offline initiatives, engagements. We want to make sure that the customers don't go out without any answers. So they've bought Zoho One, they've bought any other point products. So if you look at generally the software landscape, not all customers use the products, all the features in the product. They're probably using 40 or 45% of the features that the product provides, and they might lose out on a lot of value because they're not unlocking the potential of these products. So what our team does is look at the possible avenues in which we can educate the customers. So we collaborate with a lot of teams inside, with the marketing teams, with the user education teams. So community becomes like a subset function of all the customer aligned functions, including product management, development, marketing, quality. All these teams have to have community as a part of their work. In the sense, when a salesperson converts, brings in a deal, they know where this customer should be onboarded next for them to optimally use. So typically in a sales cycle, you will find the salespeople going to the customers at the time of sale, then next year at the time of renewal. So in between there is a lag, there is a gap. So that is something community will offset. So we'll keep going to the customers with meaningful engagements and telling them, hey, did you know that this is possible with whatever product suite that you've purchased from us? These are things that you can unlock for your business. To know how, come attend this meetup in your city. Did you know that there is going to be a meetup for all the healthcare customers tonight at 9:30 p.m.? There are going to be other customers from world over. You might want to come and attend this session. There is going to be a developer expert who is going to talk about how he set up an MCP server and he's put it on GitHub. He's put the entire repository, entire resources on GitHub. You might want to tap into that. So we create avenues where we bring the customers. So it is not always Zoho talking and telling how we are great or what we're doing is awesome. So we want the other customers to come and tell their real stories of how they worked around a need, how they used a particular feature to its potential to realize value for their business, how they solved a particular problem. So they come and share their knowledge. So we set up this platform, this ecosystem called Zoho Community, where we bring all the users together, learn together, collaborate, become expertise. So most of the customers start their journeys on as a rookie on the community, and in 2 years, 3 years, their journey is accelerated, their learning is accelerated, and they become pros. And it opens up a lot more avenues for our customers, not just in terms of making the most of their Zoho implementation for their own business. Lot of them have gone on to become independent, Zoho practitioners, if we may call them. They've gone on to become partners, implementers, experts on their own. So it also paves a way for people to build a career on top of Zoho, not just that. Okay, so anything we pick up in the community as engagement, we see that it answers to one of these 3 questions. Will this activity help a customer adopt the product more deeply? As in, are we driving adoption? Will this activity help reduce support load? Will it deflect some support costs? Will this activity help us find a champion customer? Okay, so all these will work towards retaining the customers. So predominantly all these are aligned to retention strategy, and any activity we do has to answer to one of these questions. So it will be through setting up meetups in cities. There are city-based user group meetups. There are vertical-based user group meetups. There are role-based meetups, like we set up sessions for marketers, for salespeople, for developers. So developers is a very happening group. So we keep creating these avenues where customers come and share. Zoho experts also. And when I talk about experts, these are not necessarily from the marketing team. There are experts from the marketing team. There are developers coming and sharing their knowledge. So what is really beautiful about this entire work is language is never a barrier in all these things. Customers across the globe get your accent. They get what you're trying to tell them. They take value from this. This is, our being an Indian company has never gotten in the way of learning, collaborating, co-creating. So that is what community does.
Yeah, this is very interesting. I'll come back to that, especially the point which you're discussing today at lunch as well, that how both of your roles, integrate together. A lot of feedback that you get from client is sort of transferred to him, and that changes are made in Zoho. But before that,
actually, many students from Zoho School of Business join your team.
Yes.
And this is something they have told me often. Zoholics is the flagship event. We conduct many events where we get on stage and become the gurus, and we scatter some nice goodies and information and train them and whatever, and they go home. But the converse approach you're taking in community is almost similar to the role of a modern day teacher. The teacher isn't the person who knows all the answers. The teacher has some experience. The teacher is a co-learner. The teacher is a facilitator. So if somebody asks a question, the teacher knows somebody else who knows the answer and can talk his or her language.
Yes.
And so, Ram, why don't you answer this question? Becomes the role of the teacher. And that's what the community does. They provide the platform, snacks, probably some takeaways. But after that, it becomes a hide in the background and let the sparks fly between the person who knows the answer and has the question.
Yeah. So the whole motive is to make sure that we let the customers know they are not alone. Provide a sense of belonging,
Wonderful.
Cuts across all cultures, cuts across languages, cuts across product expertise, everything. So when they are on the platform, they don't have to be reticent. What if I ask this question and if this comes across as something very basic, will people judge me? Because people can hide behind avatar on the community. In the meetups, so what we tell in the community events, online and offline, is the biggest help that you can offer to a peer is asking the right question. They don't have to come with answers, because when you are asking a question, I might have been itching to ask, but I'm scared that people will judge me. People will think it is too basic and I don't even know that. But when you put my thoughts, my concerns in words as a question, I'm so grateful to you. We incentivize that action. We call the person asking the right question a super bud on the community.
Nice.
So that help begins there by asking the right question. So we encourage that culture among our customers. Just like that culture is so prevalent inside Zoho, we have not done anything new, no rocket science there. What we practice, we have just extended to the customer experience. products.
Got it.
Nice.
What do you do, Raj?
What do? I do three things at Zoho. I manage a mobile development team. So every one of these 55 apps they have been talking about, probably 24 of them we manage in my team, both the iOS, the Android, the Vision Pro, the watch, the whole set of devices these days that people use to consume. We build apps. That's one role I do. The second role is I head Zoho Schools of Learning. It's an initiative that is a meaningful alternative to conventional college education. We take students age group of 17 to 20. They finish school, join us instead of going to college. It's a unique environment where the faculty is drawn from professionals. She has taught at Zoho Schools. He has given guest lectures. His team has come. So the good thing is you visited Zoho Schools, so it is within Zoho Corp. So we share lunch, we share the cricket ground, we share the corridor, we share the open house that we talked about a while ago. So Zoho culture is part of the food, the air they breathe and the water they drink. And that is powerful in that sense. We don't conduct exams because we know that exam driven is extrinsic motivation. We want intrinsic. You need to want to learn.
Yeah.
We do not mark attendance because that's again extrinsic versus intrinsic. You come because the faculty has something special to share, something that's not printed anywhere, something that even ChatGPT cannot tell. Because this is even ChatGPT doesn't know the number of failures I have had building products in this company. Only I can tell you the story, so you will be saved from the ignominy of having to go through that, commit new mistakes that she talked about. So that's 25th year we celebrated 2 months ago. That's an interesting experience that we have had, 20th year. And the third role I play is to evangelize Zoho as a company, as a product suite. I represent, speak at events, panel discussions and podcasts and so on. That's my third role.
But going back, like you mentioned, Zoho Communities is what you head. And from my understanding, Zoho Communities basically you are very close to the client. You speak to millions of clients, not like at a time, but like in general, you speak to a lot of clients and you take feedback from them, you listen to them, and then you build products accordingly. You give it to Hari and Hari builds on top of it. So if you can just explain, go deeper into your processes.
So we've set up a platform which has many parts where many avenues through which customers can communicate with us. One such avenue is the forums. So forums becomes the listening ground. It is like having your ears to the ground. When there is a war cry, we'll quickly be able to pick up, because if one customer is reporting an issue or having a trouble, and if other people add comments and say, hey, even I'm facing this, which it means that this needs attention. Okay, so forums becomes the collective feedback mechanism. Okay, other than that, we create other avenues to teach or help customers adopt. So what we do is, when customers report problems or share ideas or share a hack, it's not always a platform where people talk about problems. People also share solutions. Somebody has figured a solution, they come and share. Recently there was one, I can talk about an example, right? So one of the customers from Australia, his name is Roger, he runs a logistics company. He wanted to automate print jobs in CRM. This was not available out of the box, so his first outreach was to the Zoho user group in Sydney. Okay, so we have a channel. So we have set up channels, spaces for each of these user groups.
Like Sydney ZUG.
Yeah, ZUG. So this is available. So this meetup is in the form of a space in one of our applications called Zoho Community Spaces. It helps you create groups. Okay, spaces are groups like Facebook groups or LinkedIn groups. These are groups where we onboard customers from Sydney onto the Sydney channel, from Atlanta, customers in Atlanta on Atlanta channel, Chennai.
Fair.
So Roger first reached out to this group and he wanted to know if anyone has had this need and if they have figured out how to do, because it was taking time for him to manually do this and there was none. So what he did next was, he went and figured a solution himself. He found he did his research. He set up a print server that would listen to HTTP based print requests. So when so all this prints, so he had to basically print the labels, logistics, the shipping that he had to do, the labels he had to print. So he set up this print to go into a work drive. He created a workflow in CRM where this labels would go as files into work drive. From the work drive, this would be sent as print request to the print server. Okay, so he had automated it. And what he did next thing was beautiful. He didn't keep this to himself. He went and told the Sydney channel. Then he went and told in the larger forums where all the global customers are a part of. He went and said, hey, I'm from this logistics vertical. This is a regular need. Until now, I've been spending hours on this job.
Nice.
Now I have figured this solution. I want the community to benefit from this. So that is how ideally it works.
It's like your own social media network.
It is. So learning also happens from the customers, from their experiences that no other AI or any other tool or intelligence can bring. So these are learnings from people's experiences. So we set up this platform, people come and share. When there is a collective feedback, we pass this feedback to the product management and everybody. See, in Zoho, another unique thing is all the teams are clued into what the customers are talking about. So support is not a function of just the support department. Marketers look at support, community professionals look at support, developers look at support, product management, everybody is aligned on support. So when and this is not new, right from the time we started handling customer support, it has been Zoho handling its own support. We have not outsourced it anywhere. So everybody is clued in. Okay, so when there is an issue, we get the team, it could be a marketer. So how many people have you had this in support? Have you seen anybody else ask this? What is the time it is going to take for something to be rolled out? Can we provide a workaround? That kind of discussion happens. And these are tracked as tickets. So when there are issues reported or features requested, all these are tracked backend in our application called Zoho Desk, where we mark this. This is a community idea raised in the community. This is a issue reported in the community. So if multiple people have reported the same thing or multiple people have voted up a particular feature, all these are prioritized. We have conversations within the marketing and product management and the development team. It is not just one or two teams alone, not just the community and the marketing team. All of us get together on this platform, on a call. We help prioritize. If there is a demand, if this is something that has to be rolled out for multiple products, then these things are prioritized. If the engineering team sees that it is difficult to do, we take this feedback back to the community and tell them, hey, we understand this is a deal breaker for you, but unfortunately, we are not able to prioritize this. We've had instances where we've said, we will understand if you want to move on.
That is communicated to the customer.
It is communicated. So that is what we do. So these are tracked, and whenever these features, if they are queued up for development and if they go into production, we communicate to the customer. If issues reported in the community get fixed, we report it back to the customer.
What happens when a customer is like, if you don't build this in like next 1 week, I'm gone?
So we have to let go. So, but we try and see. I don't think there is any problem that cannot be engineeringly solved. We try. We see if there is a workaround. We see if there is a marketplace app. We see if we can write a script, write a function and achieve what the customer wants. But if we exhaust all the options and if it is still something that we cannot prioritize, we cannot do, we are open about it and we tell. And see, it doesn't make sense for us to retain a customer by making false promises, because that customer is going to become an unhappy customer and the relationship is going to get more and more sour. It is not going to improve.
In fact, Zoho itself was born because of such a customer. We wouldn't be doing Zoho. We were AdventNet. We were building products for the IT, the telecom teams and the IT support teams. This customer was after us, chasing us, SLA-driven, policy-driven, penalty clauses dangling in front. Why aren't you doing this? And so on. And a moment came when Kumar and Sridhar said, enough is enough. Pay the one-time penalty.
Yeah.
Fire the customer. Get rid of them.
Yes.
And that was a very bold call at that
was.
time.
It was.
And thankfully, we continue to do that. Right? So, and suddenly we had a group of people who were available and we set them on that Zoho initiative. So,
Yeah. So
one more thing, Vidya, there have been meta learnings too, in terms of has a feedback directly become a feature or a product?
Yeah.
Yes, that has become. But the meta learning is we can't be one company doing everything a customer wants.
right.
Which is why some companies we saw as enemies, we started understanding we need to sleep with you. We need to work with you. We need to shake hands because that customer needs a few things which not only do we have now, we will never have.
Yeah.
The world is too big. The customers are too many and unique.
Yeah.
So we became a platform company.
Yeah.
We said 90-10, we will build 90% of the product, 10% would be an extension. And we will aim to make all of our products platforms on top of which our customers can build solutions and optionally sell on them.
Yes.
So this is a great meta learning.
Nice.
And the second learning I would say is community spaces as a product itself.
Absolutely.
You were the first user of it.
Yes.
It didn't exist as a product. It was an internally based, internally focused intranet tool. But the same engine ripped open and reimagined for people like Vidya who work with customers. So here is a user group management platform on the web, community spaces. But actually the engine powering it is our intranet product called Zoho Connect. Yeah, that's a great learning, I would say.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, we waited quite a long for the external support to happen in community spaces. I mean, these things have evolved. I mean, it has taken time, but we have been persistent. We see a market. See, we looked at when we started meetups, we were using third-party tools like meetup.com, but it was proving expensive. You know, so for every meetup, based on the number of users or number of meetups you would want to do, they'll charge. So your license would become like, and you are at a point where you have to scale this game. And without scaling meetups, you won't actually build this offline community. And when you have to scale, the costs also grow exponentially. So then we do what we usually do in Zoho. Let us build let us put an axe on meetup.com. Let us build our own meetup.com. Doesn't matter. See, there can be, we might not have
coffee and snacks in the past 24 hours. Baked here, my friend.
So everything, not just products.
Even the like Nariyal and all.
Yes, this is the opposite of center of excellence, outsource everything else that's non-core to you philosophy. There are companies that do well with that philosophy. But here it is that smooth, silo-less integration from A to Z.
I think that is also the instrument that is keeping us accountable the way Zoho is, you know. So I think that is the investment or the involvement we have. I think that stems from doing everything ourselves. You know, right from the kitchen.
And this is not some playbook to follow. Works for us. Works for us till now. That's how I would put it. Till now, worked for us. This is not something to be emulated or copied.
And none of the customers in all these decades have ever pointed out Indianness as a problem or something that is getting in the way of delivering the products, delivering the support, you know.
But because from day one, you have been transnational, you have been saying hire locally, serve locally.
Absolutely. You know, so they understand and there's a lot of respect for that approach that we've employed, you know, and it is not a one-off thing for one particular activity. It is wired in our DNA.
So I did mention about transnational localism as a concept that we follow here in terms of, we took the Bata example of how as we grew up, we all thought Bata was an Indian company, but Bata actually is from somewhere, but it's just the way they market and the way they appear to us, you feel that it's an Indian company. So that is the same thing in terms of transnational localism that Zoho wants to do. That if you are going to a region, you have these regional heads and regional managers, they hire locally people who know that culture, people who know those dynamics. We work with those people and we act as a central place where we transfer the product knowledge and all that. Now they are good with the local dynamics, and together we chart out marketing campaigns and plans in terms of what would work there. So for example, if you take just the messaging platform, so we all use WhatsApp here, but if you go regionally, there is some popular messaging app specific to that region. And WhatsApp marketing being popular here, now a lot of people talk about how WhatsApp linear marketing channel, how can we plug this into our apps? In fact, as Raj has pointed out, that marketplace, Zoho Marketplace is a facility where we offer these interoperability channels, interoperable situations for others to develop connectors with Zoho apps. So there are people who can develop WhatsApp integrators. Some partners have developed using Zoho Catalyst or any of the development things that we have. And now you can go to the Zoho Marketplace and search for, if I wanted the Zoho apps to talk to an external app, you can go to the Zoho Marketplace and search for it.
Yeah.
So that interoperability angle is also something that we embrace. Like he said, every business is, you can't, sometimes some people are very stuck on, I simply want to use only this for CRM. I'm not going to move there, but I see a promise in all of the other things. Okay, you can continue to use that. We have all the other things. We have a marketplace which gives you connectors to this particular external application. In fact, you can even configure single sign-on using Zoho single sign-on to even sign on to that application without you having to go separately there. So we are open to that also, to interoperate with other applications, while we also have these apps ourselves. Maybe in the long run, seeing all the unified nature of our applications, you might switch heart and want to move also this thing that you were stuck on for so long and move it also here. And that might take time.
And also more than an hour into a podcast like this, and you still haven't mentioned that 2-letter acronym yet. Let us throw that in. Today, in the age of AI, seriously.
No, I'm sure he was going to have a question about AI at some point.
No, I'm saying
aggregator.
It is very, very important that you don't have these silos of data. If it had always been important, but today that data needs to be accessible to your processor, to your internal LLM. Otherwise, you're going to be, it's almost like you have had a lobotomy and part of your brain is not accessible, violin lessons no longer available kind of thing. So today, even more importantly than till now, the selling point of Zoho One, which is like the DNA for your organization, the powerhouse, the central unified command center for an organization becomes so much more important. Zia being the key word there.
In fact, we were talking about AI yesterday, and you had a very interesting take on that aggregator intelligence.
So
to talk about that.
So I was telling him that recently I have been attending some of the marketing meetups that I'm going to, and every time, today we cannot have a discussion without bringing the 2-letter word AI. Because everyone is talking about it. Every ChatGPT release says it is shocking. The jobs are going to go like, will you have your job in the next 2 years and all that. So one thing that personally I thought when I think about AI, like the word artificial intelligence itself, I think it needs to change now. So we need to probably call it aggregated intelligence, because it is now an aggregated intelligence where you can beckon a marketing expert and have bounce of ideas with it, not completely rely on it to give you the end output, but now at least you don't have to go looking for at least a mediocre expert, to be frank. So you can say, here is your role as a marketing manager, what would you do for so and so? Just bounce off ideas. And it can, I feel AI can today produce something that is a good average output, but to take that from an average to an excellent output, you need human intervention and review. And prompting.
Our evangelist in Texas, Raju is his name. He came up with a beautiful equation, not just an acronym. He calls it AI plus BI is CI. AI being artificial intelligence, BI being business intelligence, that's where the context comes.
Yeah.
The contextual intelligence is what we are all after. We want that sidekick, that co-pilot, which tells me without me asking for it, whether this project is on schedule or there are tough times ahead because somebody has applied for a leave and somebody else has applied for an exit interview, and key people, this project management tool talking to the HR management tool, talking to the recruit tool is the contextual intelligence.
Yeah.
Which very few companies, frankly speaking, can offer today without too many connectors and wires running under the carpet.
Yeah, particularly when it is companies using different vendors for all of their different functions, obviously you need to spend more to have those APIs and have that application send data to this application.
And all of them being live.
Yeah.
You need it to be live.
Yeah.
It's not daily sync up.
And on top of that, now if you want to implement this AI agent that needs to touch base with 4 different applications to give you that particular context, that's going to cost you a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of complexity.
Yeah.
So now we are basically striving to remove all that complexity. Now you have this unified system, it is on the same technology stack. It is already integrated as best as it can be to the extent that it is unified. So that is the key, to make it unified. Unification is what we are after rather than simply an integrated system. So now in this unified system, when you bring in Zia, which is Zoho's intelligence assistant, Zia now can act on all of these apps because we own all this technology stack.
Yeah.
It can now look through all the different applications and give somebody working, for example, somebody in Zoho desk, he opens a ticket, and customers sometimes will only give you half of the information. They want you to understand the rest of it.
So true.
Correct.
Yeah.
Like where I come from, I don't want
context.
to repeat again. How many times have we been on a customer call when they say, oh, I have to go out, this agent will take over, and then you start from A to Z again. So that is something that we want to avoid. Now what is missing? The context to the next agent.
100%.
So now you bring in that kind of a context to somebody in Zoho desk. It can talk to Zoho projects or Zoho CRM and give a snapshot of this is what has gone on. That culminated in this particular support ticket. Now this particular agent doesn't have to go through that whole grueling process with that irate customer.
Right.
And he can directly say, is this what you want to solve? So that is possible because we have a unified system and makes it easier. Like you don't have to pay for different systems, integrations and all
Otherwise,
of the
that
other
would be
things.
possible in the first place.
Yeah.
So is AI gonna kill Zoho One?
Is AI going to kill Zoho One?
That's the line, right? Like AI is gonna kill the SaaS businesses.
I
out
don't
there.
see AI killing our entire livelihood anytime near. So that's always there is a lot of...
We'll augment AI there.
Because it was a punchy question, I would like to give you a punchy answer.
Yeah.
AI will kill Zoho One if you think the caterpillar dies when it becomes a butterfly. Yeah, that's how I see it. It will change the face of it. It will make it fly, but the caterpillar will be gone. If you're still looking for the caterpillar, wo nahi hoga udhar.
So as in Zoho One will go through a transformation that also embraces AI as
100%.
best as
Of course.
it can.
I mean, Zia is a great example of that
Yeah.
itself. Do you not feel that Zoho makes your ambition also reduce because there's so much comfort? You get in and you're like, now I'm sorted. I don't need to be ambitious. I don't need to work hard. What do you think about that? He has an answer prepared now, thanks to our conversation yesterday. But what do you think about it?
Maybe I'll
Last
let
person
them-
to answer.
If you're asking if complacency will set in, I don't think it is wrong to just be happy with what you have. Contentment is not at the same level for everyone. For me, certain things will make me content. So I think most of us who are here are happy with if chasing money, chasing power, chasing titles, these are the things that are not going to make you happy, then I think you're set in Zoho.
God, you don't feel the ambition reduces.
It's not being ambitious. So my ambition would be to see how I can do more. What more can I do here? there is a lot of potential. There is so much each of us can continue bringing to the table in terms of value, to see how in the big picture we add value to Zoho.
Right.
So as long as that spirit lives in you, I don't think you can call yourself not ambitious. That is still being ambitious. You're not complacent. You're still ambitious. You're still chasing some goals. You still have a purpose. You look up to coming to work every day. Today I have to solve this. Today I have to fight with this person. Today I have to handle this escalation. So every day there is a meaning to the work that you do. So as long as we find our everyday lives meaningful, I don't think that is not being complacent or settling for something less. I think that is something people would die to get. So I think we have it.
Okay. That's what I think.
I think there is this thing called individual passion, individual ambition, and there is this company's own mission, vision, what it wants to achieve, its own passion. And the company can have passion and you can have passion in something completely orthogonal, not in sync. They won't last long.
Okay.
They will go their own way. It could be that the company does not have enough ambition, passion, and you have enough passion, and you try pulling the company along, and sometimes you lose motivation and energy, and you probably you build a startup yourself, be your own boss. That happens. But there are these beautiful golden examples that she gave, where your own personal ambition, interest, purpose in life is aligned, is in sync with what the company itself wants to do, wants to be known for. And that's when Thursday afternoon and Saturday evening merge into one another. It's not thank God it's Friday, it's thank God it's Sunday night, because tomorrow it's work. Right? Or probably you lose sight of even a weekend, because you work on a weekend, you hang out on a Thursday afternoon. So for some, that's what happens to light itself. How does normal light become a laser? Is when they all are in sync. All the bad wavelengths are removed. It is one single wavelength in unison, and there is a resonance happening, a halfway mirror, and then what comes out can burn. Yeah. So if you can create an environment, a system, again, the intent is not to hold on to everybody, motivate everybody. No, we cannot. We know we cannot. But there is a story we want to tell. We leave it incomplete because we want to look for people who are interested in that story. We want them to resonate with that story. We want them to be so involved in it that they will spin the climax for that story. And they'll be so passionate about that story that they will go to places around the world and tell that story to others. That is what we want to achieve. Yeah. What is that Zoho story? And how can that become a self-propagating engine? Right? So we have fortunately held on to enough good storytellers. That's the way I would put it.
Like yourself.
Creating software, producing products that people love to use and see direct benefit from is a creative endeavor. You dare not ask J.K. Rowling, how many words did you write today? Yeah? No way. Or A.R. Rahman, when is the next song? You have 6 days. You don't do that, because these are creative endeavors. It takes time. They come when the muse is ready. Till then, you hope, you have a discipline, you collaborate, you make yourself busy. That's all. And when we start with that, even that kid from college who joined us 2 weeks ago, he or she is given that freedom. For many, it is the wallpaper that's the creative boost. What do you have on your wallpaper? What do you have at your desk? Allow that freedom. When do you come in? When do you leave? I'm not going to track.
Yeah.
There will be an AI that is observing all these, and it may throw up an anomaly saying, I have noticed, because I am talking to the real world application, whenever there is a first day, first show of this actor, this person offers I am unwell leave. It might throw up. So that's going to come. But human, the intervention of the human would be when to shut the AI off and say, please do not track these things.
This is a human activity.
Yes, yes. Yeah. So that human, okay, AIs can also be human. Okay, that's a given now after ChatGPT 5. Humane. Can they be humane? I don't know. We would like to hope that we are the ones that will retain that humaneness to the whole thing.
Yeah. On your point about ambition, so just to repeat what I had. So he asked me this, posed me this all of a sudden.
Okay.
So we were having this ragi malt and
Complacency.
complacency.
Okay.
So now that you have all these comforts, you lost your ambition? I asked myself. I lost my ambition. Well, that's a very loaded question. So you've been here 16 years and you are having this ragi malt. You on the way, you're having that. You are so comfortable. So have you lost your ambition?
You don't have a fancy title.
Yeah. So then I did ask myself, I actually pondered on that question, what keeps me here for so long? And a major thing in any work that satisfies you is to be given challenges and for you to be able to do something about solving for those challenges.
Right.
In that sense, have I been challenged all these years in Zoho? Absolutely.
So the biggest reward for good work is more good work.
And I think being a marketer for Zoho One is actually challenging in many ways. Like he said, now that all of these individual products are there, they have their own product marketing and they have their own sort of a brand and all. Now you are pulling all of that together and you need to create this unification and that theme and market it out. So you are not actually marketing software with Zoho One, you are marketing transformation, and that is a challenge. Like to market transformation to businesses. Like here is a tool that you can use to digitally transform your business.
And harder because it is not, there's a little bone crack here, can you put a splint? Or I am using a knife till now, can you give me a gun? This is the whole body blood transfusion he is talking about.
Yeah.
Zoho One.
Yeah.
Your email, your communication, your video conferencing, your project management, your CRM, your ticketing, your bookings, finance, everything your campaigns, email, everything transforms. So probably there is a brief coma moment for your customers before they change over, right? They will wake up much better, but he has to sell that.
Yeah, so that it's a big challenge. So what keeps me ambitious is to be challenged, to be thrown challenge after challenge and to be, oh, now you're comfortable with that, let's bring you there. And here is a challenge because you have proven here's a new challenge for you, now let's see what you do.
And selling to SMBs is different from selling to enterprises. We are now going big on enterprise. And so his language, even his dress, when you visit customers at the enterprise level, is changing. Right? That's what I said. We are very different as a company now compared to what we were. So now we dance with every kind of person.
Yeah, because it is a different game when you go from a startup to an SMB to a mid-market company to an enterprise. Enterprise is going to be a really long game. And an enterprise is not going to take something like Zoho One on day one. It's like...
Cost cannot be the tipping factor. Because they have money. You can't say we are the cheapest solution you can find on the on earth. Yeah.
It's not about cheap. It's about the efficiency that you bring. And
interoperability. They already have big systems in place. Some of them homebrew. Yeah.
So enterprises tend to take a land and expand approach. So let me land in one particular product. And once I develop the faith in your system, maybe at some point I'm ready for this unified suite.
Right.
But we have also had cases where they have taken the unified suite for right off the bat for a pricing angle also. and then they believed in enabling one at a time and going phase wise.
That's the thing Vidya talked about. Take the product but not use it completely.
That now ties into the whole community angle that she spoke about, where product adoption, right? People talk about how Zoho has so many things to offer. How do I go about this? What is the next thing that I need to do? So those kind of things sometimes are better spoken in a community where somebody else has already done something and they get to talk to each other, and we are observing it from outside, this whole community conversation, and we get feedback from that. Then we take it to the product management team, and this is how the product, market, customer fit and circle happens.
In my experience, the most important lesson I get talking to customers is the jaw drop, the wow factor is when they realize that we have a product. Yes, I know about the product, and we have this other product. Yes, I have seen my colleague use it, my friend use it, my whatever use it. But I didn't know they could talk to each other and this could happen. And when you add a third product into the mix, that's when it's almost like there is a letter M, there is a letter A, there's a letter T, there's a letter E. And they thought mate was the only word. Have you heard of team? Have you heard of meet? And things like that. The growth, the number of combinations they can come into. That is always a jaw-dropping moment when they hear about it. And that is the selling point of Zoho One, I would say.
And all these things, I think there is never, none of the activities or none of the work that we do, we've had instant gratification, right? So it is long-term gratification. Everyone signing up for the work, we all know, okay, this is going to be a long game. We have to give it everything.
Takes time.
It takes time. We have to give it everything. We have to give it everything. You know, you can't leave something half-baked, half-cooked, half-dried. Because we'll be invested that way. So no instant gratification.
Okay. I have a last question, which I want all of you to answer one by one, which is, what is that one thing you would want to change about Zoho?
Change about Zoho. Okay. I will say that first. You can, okay. I want it to be getting the visibility it deserves. I don't know how we will end up doing it.
Through this.
But, through this. Thank you. But being an insider and knowing what other companies do and how they are at the tip of the tongue of so many other things, this still seems to be a little laid back as a company. And not spending, we know that we don't spend enough on marketing. He is unhappy about it. He keeps bringing it up. You do so much research and R&D. The budget is so big there. Where is that little campaign I want to run? That IPL board I want to hit with the ball. So I don't know what we are going to take as a channel to make that happen. But truly deserving customers out there are making wrong decisions even as we speak today. Not because they have seen Zoho and found it wanting or comparably seen something else, but simply because there is this little company somewhere else, that one-trick pony that's squeaking its way through, and these people haven't even heard of Zoho. I see that as a moral responsibility for people like us to get the word out to more people. I'm ready if they say, yes, maine dekha, I saw it, but I'm choosing that because you don't have this, you missed this. No. So that's one thing I would like to change about Zoho.
I actually absolutely agree with that
No, you
point.
can't agree. You have to
You
give
can't agree.
Being a marketer, that is something that I have always felt, that we can afford to do a lot more on more people getting to know about Zoho, but we are still being conservative, which is good, which is the whole...
The answer is surely not throwing more money at TV channels.
That is not the answer. So
we should get the word out. We can't be smug. This complacency word you said, we use Zoho for everything. Zoho powers our CRM. Correct. We do our email on Zoho it, presentations, video conferencing. But that might lead us to a complacency, thinking everybody knows about Zoho. Not everybody. You must have seen the same thing in your community meetups.
Yes.
It is still in the under the radar thing at some places.
Yeah, it is.
So we should break through, and I think it's going to happen.
Yeah, that is
I
very
have had
valid.
moments when I attend events and we have a booth there and somebody walks in. In India, at least a lot of people now I think know about us, so at least the name Zoho. But when you travel out, right, and you have a booth presence and somebody comes in, they first just casually walk in, say, what is this company, all these, all so many apps and all that really, then they start looking and they say, where were you? Like, where was this company before? That you do so many things, and how is it that we don't really know about you? So, which is where I think we are taking strides in terms of the transnational localism, building local teams and doing a lot of out-of-home ads there. I think we are doing a lot, but we should do a lot more. So,
in fact, Hari, I'm going to propose this to top management.
Okay.
I'm going to say, stop saying it takes time. It has taken time. That I am ready to give. That old story about the bamboo shoot, you keep pouring water, 12 years, it only builds a lot of root system invisible to the eye, but little 2-3 sprigs of green visible. But then suddenly the root system is ready now and it shoots off into the air. I'm ready. I think the Zoho as a company is ready. Customers out there are ready. It has taken time.
Yeah.
So
That's a new campaign. That's a new campaign.
So one other thing maybe in Zoho that we can do better is, so far we have been thriving on controlled chaos, like he says. That startup mindset of being very offhand and bumping into people. In fact, interestingly, when I think about most of very successful marketing things that have happened, it has come out of random corridor run-ins more often than not, than people sitting in a room to brainstorm the next best idea. You randomly walk into someone, you are not even really going there for that idea conversation, but it comes up, they say something, then you get triggered. Most often than not, those ideas have been more successful,
in fact,
than you sitting in a room.
The whole day yesterday, you said you spent walking. It is by design. Mani Vembu is the designer of this space, an obsessive architecture lover. And Mani says, as much space for collaboration as for contemplation. Place for thinking as well as sharing. A hill, a lake, a corridor. There is more corridor space here than there is workspace.
I discovered a new space here today for chai on this floor.
Chai.
I didn't know that such a place existed.
So that's by design, Hari. So ideas in the corridor.
So for example, there was I was the marketing manager for Zoho Mail. And I think that was my coming of age as a marketer, and my phase of actually learning a lot of marketing, because Zoho Mail was a free email service back then. We put it on for business as a hosted email service, and we had to take on Google Apps at that time. Google Apps for free was a big deal. Google being Google, how are we going to compete with this behemoth? Like, how do we even get the message that here is Zoho Mail and all of that, right? So when we were trying to figure things out on how to go about this marketing, one thing we did was Google got a lot of flack on their whole privacy thing. And we came up with this tagline, take control of your inbox. So that was one moment of, here is a nice thing to...
Good line.
No ads, not even on the free version.
Your inbox is not a billboard. We did. That was the first time we did some out-of-home ads for Zoho Mail saying your inbox is not a billboard. And the ad itself was a blank billboard with ad-free Zoho Mail. So that was, these ideas came from just random bump-ins to people on what can we do, why not this? You may make a note of it.
So you were referring to control chaos. So what were you getting to?
So I was getting to... So I was going to complete the Zoho Mail example. So there was a Zoho Mail referral program that worked very well. And that came off my Raju, I guess now is a chief evangelist. I ran into Raju. It was just very 30 seconds in the corridor. So he came, how is Zoho Mail
AI
registration?
plus BI is CI guy.
So how is Zoho Mail registration going? I told him Google Apps shut down their free plan. And then everything started pouring here because we are already ranked there. But they shut down their free plan one fine day, and we were already ranked, and that brought us a lot of traction. And Raju ran in and said, how is it going? I said, we are getting good registrations now. So then he simply fleetingly said, this Dropbox is doing some, Dropbox back then, they are doing some two-way referral program that's driving a lot of registrations.
You get a friend,
might want
you
to
get
check
5
it out.
GB, they get 5 GB.
Yeah, you might want to check that out, and maybe we can do something on those lines. That's it. It was 30 seconds.
Bye, see you later.
Yeah. Then I went back, took that, researched on Dropbox program, thought why not we replicate this for Zoho Mail also in our style. So we started off, you introduce someone to Zoho Mail, you get 5 extra mailboxes, and the business also gets 5 extra mailboxes. Same thing. And initially when I proposed this, they said, it worked for Dropbox, will it work for mail? Then I said, let's give it a try. We put up a landing page, and manually a person was giving those free mailboxes.
Yeah.
It got to a point where that person said, there are too many invitations, I cannot do this as a man. And then we put it into programming to make that whole thing happen, put up a resource, and that is a story of how a random 30-second corridor bump in led to something that worked. So in coming back to the control chaos and what I think we can do, now that the company has become large, I think we can put in some processes in place in terms of how we go about our work and tracking
things to take to the
and all
top
that.
management.
Yeah, so that is something I think will benefit us now, but not rigid processes, but at least somewhere with so many apps and so many different strategies to plan certain things.
Awesome. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for spending 2 hours, 15 minutes with me.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ayush, for
All right.
taking the time to come and spend this time with us.
Yeah.
Hope you had a good
Yeah.
Zoho
I'm
experience.
gonna have tea.
अगर आपको ये बिजनेस पॉडकास्ट पसंद आया तो आपको आई बटन पे क्लिक करके हमारी प्लेलिस्ट देखनी चाहिए, जहाँ पे हम बहुत सारे फाउंडर्स को बुलाते हैं अलग अलग इंडस्ट्री से और उनसे बात करते हैं एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप के बारे में और उन्होंने कैसे स्टार्ट किया। इससे आप सीख के आप भी कल खुद का बिजनेस स्टार्ट कर सकते हो। सो आई बटन पे क्लिक करके वो प्लेलिस्ट जरूर देखना।